Okay. Uh, Good afternoon. So we'll continue discussion with the anatomy of the heart. So last time we have already discussed the parts of the heart. Okay. And as well as in our so we have here the let me remove this first class. Anyway, as a recap, I have said about last time during our lecture in anatomy that the cells of the lungs it produces surfactant is called type 2 acinar cells. Okay, so this is responsible for maintaining the surface tension of the lungs so that it won't collapse. Then, uh, aside from that, uh, aside from the acinar cells, uh, the type 2, we have also the type 1 pneumocytes or acinar cells. Now, these cells is found mainly in alveoli. Okay, so it is the one humidifying or responsible for humidifying the air or the oxygen so that it would be transported easily through the capillaries. Now, to continue with our discussion of the heart, so I mentioned also this uh, blood vessel, the coronary circulation. So this is the blood supply of the cardiac tissues. Okay, so you have the right and the left coronary artery. Of course, we have also the coronary sinus, which drains the unoxygenated blood from the heart going to the right superior vena cava. Okay, so you have here the atrium. So if you're going to hide that, you can see now the different parts of the heart. So this is now your coronary conus arteriosus. So this is your artery parts nga nag-connect sa imong aorta. No? This is your not in the aorta. Uh, in your pulmonary vein rather. Okay, so this is your right atrium, the receiving chambers of the heart that receives the unoxygenated blood. And here on the other side, you have your left atrium that receives oxygenated blood coming from the lungs. Then this is your left ventricle, and this is the right ventricle. Okay, so the right ventricle pumps blood towards the lungs for oxygenation. The left ventricle pumps blood to the aorta for distribution. So, if you notice, we have here two important structure sa atong uh, heart here. You have your interventricular septum. The interventricular septum separates the two ventricles. course, if it is connected to atrium, straight mo gana siya, no? Going up to here, separates the left and right atrium. We call that as atrioventricular septum. Okay, so it separates the two chambers of the heart, the left and the right chamber. Okay, then so you have your myocardium. Okay, the myocardium is the muscular layer of the lungs of the heart. So if you notice, the muscles of the left ventricles is much bigger compared to the muscles of the right ventricle. Primarily because the left ventricle pumps the blood all throughout the body while your right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs only. So that's why kinahanglan siya dako-dako ang musculature kay dako iyahang workload. Okay, so we have here the right atrium. So if we're going to hide that and try to view, so this is the appearance of the right atrium. No? So we have here the tricuspid valve. Okay, so and here, um, if you notice, no? So kani siya, siya mo din siyang chordotendinae that I mentioned sa dito sa lecture na to sa medical term. Okay, so it is attached to this. This is the papillary muscles. No? So if we're going to look at that, kailangan iyang appearance sa papillary muscles. So, so inana. So nana siya kanina for papillary muscles. So this is the Purkinje fibers. From the branch. Okay. So kani siya mo ni siya nagadala sa conduction gikan dito sa SA, then AB, then sa bundle of his or bundle of branch, bundle of his, then Purkinje fibers so that their cardiac muscles could pump. So if you're going to remove the ventricles, this is the appearance. So you see this is the atrium, and this is the left atrium. So remove the heart. So this is now your aorta base. Then you have your arcs of the aorta. The first branch here is your this one. This is your right brachiocephalic. Then you have your yeah, left common carotid. Then left subclavian. This is the arch of the aorta. So if you notice, no, nagkuha na siya, nag-overlap na siya sa kani siya mga parts ng bronchi, then nag-go na siya diri sa posterior side. Actually, nagasubay na siya kung ato na butang bukod. Pero, na siya slightly located anterior sa spine, no, sa thoracic spine or thoracic vertebra. Na siya naog. Okay. base. This will become your descending aorta or thoracic aorta. So, muscles. So, so here is it, guys. You can see this is the diaphragm. It's a dome-shaped muscles. So it is your muscles for respiration. It serves as the borderline between the thoracic cavity and the abdominal cavity. So, ang iyang ah, no? So, kung imo tanawon, ang iyang ventricular na kung mag-contract ang imong diaphragm, ina siya. So, it contracts, it expands your cavity, but at the same time, it also compresses your abdominal organs that it will elevate now during your deep breathing exercise. So it is your primary muscles for inspiration. Okay. The rest, siya siya, imong pectoralis minor, imong ano ni, serratus anterior, your external intercostal, and sternocleidomastoid, and your scalene, and your subclavius. These are accessory muscle for respiration. So, ano siya? Scalene, ano siya? Then you have also your kani, serratus posterior superior. So these are accessory muscles of respiration. They are not primary. So when the diaphragm is weak, that's the time that these muscles will be activated in order for you to inhale air. Okay? So, inana ang imuhang diaphragm. So, unsa may naka-innervate ana niya nga muscles, so it is your phrenic nerve. No? So, na siya na residual left and right yung phrenic. So, nag-innervate ana. Okay? So, inana siya ang diaphragm. So, borderline na siya. So, anything na blood vessel nga after aning imong diaphragm going down, it is now called as your abdominal aorta. So, kani abdominal aorta na siya. No? Kani siya, this is your abdominal or your inferior vena cava. No? So, kani siya abdominal aorta or descending aorta. So, ang mga branches sa imong abdominal aorta, inani. So, you have here, so gikan diri sa taas, your inferior phrenic, so kani, kana. So, ka-innervate na siya diri sa imong diaphragm. You have your hepatic artery, kana siyang hepatic artery, gikan na siya sa common hepatic. So, kung tanawon nimo, uh, kani, kana. Then you have your phrenic, then sa ubos niya, they have your mesentery, yan, kana renal. So, mauna sa gitong hepatic, no? Then that's from the hepatic, kana paingon na siya tanan sa liver. Then you have your gastric, na pa na siya gastric artery class at that time, so it's the gastric. Then to the left na sa stomach ninyo. Ayan, nara siya. The gastric artery. So, gastric artery, gikan na siya sa celiac trunk, no? So, gikan sa celiac, nag-branch na siya. You have your splenic artery, your common hepatic, and your gastric artery. Okay. Then sa ilalim yan, nakita nimo dira ay imong superior mesenteric. Then naapod ang imong kani para sa renal, left and right na sa diri ang isa renal. Then sa ubos naapod din sa diri. Kung na kay superior mesenteric, na kay inferior mesenteric na artery. Okay, this supplies the internal organs. Okay, then you have here your inferior vena cava. No? So kana siya inferior vena cava. So it drains blood coming from your trunk, lower trunk, then and lower extremity. So ina na siya. So kana siya, muna sila supply sa imong internal organs, no? O nag-drain sa blood sa internal organs. So kung mo tanawon diri sa inferior vena cava, ako yung importante emphasize diri. Ito may yung mga branches. So you have your hepatic portal. Okay? So it drains gikan na siya sa branches sa imong uh, mesenteric, ito na superior mesenteric vein, inferior mesenteric vein. So unsa na siya function ng mga mesenteric? Mesenteric mga vein nagapa na siya sa imong small intestine, no? Small intestine siya nimo. Ka-drain siya sa mga blood. So as I mentioned dito sa lecture na to, sa introduction to medical terminology, kanin siya mga mesenteric. Mo ni siya ay nag-drain sa unoxygenated blood sa imong internal organs, specifically sa small and large intestine. So ang blood diri is poor in oxygen but rich in nutrients. So all of them will drain na siya ang imong inferior mesenteric, mohapit pa na siya dira sa splenic vein. Ang superior mesenteric, mag-unite na sila, mag-fuse into one to form your hepatic portal. Sulod siya din sa liver. Then from the hepatic portal, mo drain na siya to your common hepatic vein. Then paingon na siya dayon dito sa connect na siya dito. So if I dito remove that, tanaw nimo. Connect na siya sa liver. So ibuta ang imong okay. Bintong. So, kini siya. Kani siya kay kung mana siya maging full. So, kani siya sa large ni. So, kani siya gastric. So, dira na siya ga-drain, no? Kaya nga na siya dito sa liver. Ano siya? Sumulod na siya dira sa liver. So, kung nato na po ang heart sa liver. So, na siya dira. Okay, so paingon na siya dira. So, detoxify ang blood, i-cleanse. Then, ang mga nutrients nga importante nga kinahanglan store niya. Then, manana mo adto na siya din dito sa hepatic vein din sa load sa inferior vena cava going part 2. So, ina na siya. So, what are the organs nga naa siya sa abdomen? So, mag-ato na ta sa abdomen nga lecture. Okay? So, this is now your abdominal cavity. you have here your abdominal cavity. Here. So this is the muscles of the abdomen. So there is ito nga, natin yung muscle three. So first you have your external oblique, which is the most superficial. Meet in the middle, no? There is ito nga din. So we have what we call linea alba. So dira na siya. So ang imuhang external oblique nakaana na nakaslant no oblique ang iyang direction. So ano na siya. So when they contract together, it pulls your body forward or it flexes the trunk. So ang imuhang uh, external oblique. But when it contracts uh, unilaterally, sa tinagsitagsa lang, unilateral lang. So it pulls the body towards the opposite side. So bend ka towards the opposite. Let's take for example, if your right right external oblique will contract, it will push your body towards the left side, no? Paingon dito sa left. So murag nag-twist ka paingon sa wala. So kung ang left na pod, nag-twist ka paingon sa tuo. So muna yung function. So kaya yung origin, kung yung tanawon, yung origin na sa sternum o if your borders sa 8. Okay, so the next one, so let's hide that one. Kung sa ilalim ang imong external oblique, makita din dira ang imuhang uh, kita dira ang imuhang this is your rectus abdominis. So rectus it is a straight muscles na nga sa abdomen. Ano siya itong six pack. Oh, actually there are supposedly there are 8. Kay if you are going to count the number of segments sa ano yung imuhang rectus abdominis. Okay. Kung immersion tanawon, sila 1, 2, 3, 4 packs. So, supposedly 4 packs, 8 packs siya. Mga highly developed na highly developed na mga muscles, rectus abdominis, so 8 packs sila. No? Okay. So again, since ano yung direction siya fiber, so basically it is for forward bending, no? So the trunk or trunk flexion, no? So inana. Then here at the side, so we have here your internal oblique. Okay, so you have your so you have there your uh, sorry, internal oblique. So kaning internal oblique ang origin ani lateral half the inguinal ligament so diri sa ubos. Okay, so again, ang ihang contraction ani is just uh, towards the same side lang siya, no? So, yung action, they laterally compresses the abdomen and viscera and flexes and bends the spine. Unilaterally, lateral flexes and rotates the spine to the same side. So, same side lang siya. So, let's take for example, if you want to rotate your body towards the right, so it is your right internal oblique. So, take for example, so if you rotate the body on the right, what are the obliques that is functioning? So, you have your right internal oblique and your left external oblique. No? So, kay kontra man siya, di ba? Ana siya. So, ana na siya, no? So, the two helps each other in performing their functions, uh, but on the opposite side. So pananglitan, if you want to rotate your body towards the left side, so it is your left internal oblique that does that together with your right external oblique. So, ina na. Okay? So, ana siya. Then, if you're going to remove this one, uh, okay, so you have here your transversus abdominis. Okay? Transversus abdominis, or this is your girdle muscle, abdominal girdle. So, basically, man siya responsible sa pag-prevent sa pagsag sa imong love handles, pilid. So, ang yang fiber anak garans in a transverse manner. So, kung imong tawag, di ka na isyo dito sa likod, na, oh, kana dra. So, wala ko tayo sa likod, no? So, gaana na siya, no? Ang imuhang transversus abdominis. Okay, so it runs to the back. Okay, ana. So, kana siya, ang ihang action ani, ang imong tanawon, na adre, medial rotation, abduction, and extension, and also it helps in respiration. So, ano siya. Ang ihang origin, nasa lateral inguinal ligament, inner leaf, din ang ihang insertion, nasa ends, and aponeurosis. Ito sa likod. So, ito na siya i-hide. Then you have now your uh, peritoneum. So, ang peritoneum, muna siya nag-enclose sa imong internal organ, okay, sa imong abdominal cavity. So, there are two layers of peritoneum, visceral and parietal. Ang visceral peritoneum na sa organs, ang parietal na sa wall sa imong abdominal cavity. Okay, so let's go now at the back. So, muna siya ang sa back na to. Itong ibalik, no? So, na-remove. Okay, so you have here at the back, it's a very broad muscles, lapad, your latissimus dorsi. So, basically, ang function sa latissimus dorsi is when you do jackknife, no? Kung mag-sit ka, sitting push up, you're going to push your butt off the chair where you're sitting, then it's the function of your latissimus dorsi. At the same time, ang iyahang kwan yun na nasa imong arm, no? So, adduction sa arm. Na siya diri ang action na medial rotation and adduction and extension. As well as naghatabang po siya sa respiration. So, ang iyahang origin dito sa venous process, then sa thoracolumbar fascia, then sa iliac crest, diri, kana diri, kana. So, ana na siya. So, lapad na siya. So, mo ni siya kung if you're going to abduct your arms on the side, mo ni siya mag-form sa wings, no? Murag si Bruce Lee. Okay, so ato nang i-hide. Then you have now your paraspinal muscles. No? Kana siya serratus posterior inferior, nagpadusan na siya sa imo kana siyang thoracic cage, no? Kani siya, no? Mo na siya imong paraspinal. So you have your iliocostalis lumborum, your longissimus thoracis. So ang ihang tanaw nimo ang origin ana niya diri na sa ubos sa ilium. ug sa spine. So pasabot ang movement ana niya, it moves the trunk. So ana, or maintains the trunk in extended position or in straight, no? At the same time, it helps in extending the trunk backward. Of course, may limitation lang. Postural muscles na siya. So kung i-hide ta na, ang nag-innervate ani is your para vertebral or spinal nerves na nag-exit sa imong uh, uh, intervertebral foramen. So we have here also your multifidus. So di ba dito sa taas na tayo multifidus rotatoris dito sa neck. So naapod na siya sa lumbar. No? Okay, so na siya. Stabilize the vertebra. Region niya is nasa sacrum. So ano mo pa na siya i-hide. Okay, so here, dito na siya sa legs na quadratus lumborum. So inana ra siya, gamay ra gid ang muscle sa back. Actually, gagmay pero pino lang. No? So inana. So, nato ni siya. Ako na lang tanan para ma-expose na lang yung internal organs. Okay. So, muna tiginan, di ba, na tay peritoneum. Okay. So, pero dira sa front na to, plus, sa atong abdomen, na sa dira murag nag-cover niya sa internal organs. Aside atong peritoneum, na pa gani siya nag-cover. It serves as, looks like an apron, but it is made up of fats. We call this as omentum. No? Kana, na duha ka klase dira, na greater and lesser omentum. Actually, ang lesser na diri sa ubos dapit. Um, ang primary function sa primary function sa imong omentum is this. Naga protect ni sa internal organs, especially na kada mga wounds or external wounds o kanang dunggabon ka whatever. They plug wounds, no, para dili magawas ang internal organs. At the same time, if there is an infection in your internal organs, in the abdomen, sila mag-cover, no, para dili makontrol ang pag-spread sa infection sa surface. So it is made up of adipose tissue. It serves as storage of fats. Or sometimes we call this as your visceral fat. It is very hard to burn this kind of fat. So inana siya. So if we hide that, so these are now your internal organs in the abdominal cavity. You have your liver, stomach, large intestine, no? Kana siya. May transverse colon, ascending, descending, sigmoid. Then you have your uh, uh, small intestine, no? So basically sa likod natago na natago diri you have your spleen. Then wala na ako butang dira ang kidney. So kung kuon ta na na hide ta na tong kidney na siya. So we have here the kidney. Okay, so pa yung mga internal organs so I mentioned. So you have here also the pancreas. Okay, so that's it. Dira lang sa ta. Then there will be another set of lecture about these organs. No, ato siyang tagsa-tagsaon. We'll talk about them. We'll discuss their anatomy. Then after that, kwanta po na discussion na po nato siya magbalik to discuss dito sa January 4. Okay, thank you for listening.